Du- 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 du. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sober Swole podcast. My name is Jake Howard.
My name is Paul Rowe.
And this is Ruthie Joy. Oh, no. Ryan is cameraless this evening, but he is here working the controls and making sure that this goes as smooth as possible. Before we get started, I'd like to give a shout out to Gorilla Gains. That's gorilla-gains.com. Check them. Oh, yeah, I did say that right? I did. Check them. They are a high-quality apparel company that you can wear in and out of the gym comfortably, as well as they make great lifting equipment to help keep you safe while you train. Check them out. Use the discount code JAKE15 to save you 15% on your entire order. While we're at it, I give a shout out to Royalty Nutrition. That's royaltynutrition.com. And to help me out with that again, as always, is Warhorse. It's Glue.
Hey, it's Warhorse. Do you want your workouts to look like this? Or do you want your workouts to slay? When Warhorse picks his pre-workout, he wants it to slay. If you want second place, go with somebody else. If you want to be a champion, go with Royalty Nutrition.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Royalty Nutrition. They are a great supplement company that does not skip on their ingredients. They don't automatically go with the cheapest option to make themselves an extra dollar a dime. They are literally supplements meant for royalty. Check them out and use the discount code 37HAKE to save you 15% on your entire order. Last shout out for me this evening will be to FitOps. That's the FitOps Foundation. Check them out at fitops.org. They are a not-for-profit organization that helps veterans rediscover their purpose after their active duty military service through camaraderie, learning how to cope with certain things in life, and not just becoming a certified personal trainer, but a highly qualified personal trainer with the title CVFO. That stands for Certified Veteran Fitness Operative. Check them out at fitops.org. And if you're looking for a great cause to donate to, that's fitops.org/donate. Paul, tell them what's good.
All right. First shout out I'm going to give out to is Advanced Physical Therapy. Advanced Physical Therapy has been helping me stay pain-free and not having to revert back to drugs or having to do anything like that and do any type of surgery. Advanced Physical Therapy is out in Gilbert. They're off of Higley and Pecos. They're an awesome staff. Mandy, who's a physical therapist, is incredible. Highly recommend if you're looking to get out of pain. And like I drive from Mesa to go down there. So that's how good they are. So if you're looking to get out of pain, I highly recommend it. Check them out. You can look them out online at advancedphysicaltherapy.com. Next shout I'm going to give out to is my brother, Kyle Summers, who is a therapist over at Purpose Healing Center. Purpose Healing Center is an addiction specialty located out in Scottsdale, Arizona. If you want to check them out, you can go to purposehealingcenter.com. They deal with all types of addictions. It's an incredible staff there. They're always growing. I actually just spoke with Kyle last week, and they are having an incredible year this year with helping people tackle their addictions. It's awesome what he's doing. His cause is incredible. Next shout out I'm going to give out to is the Pigeon Coop. Pigeon Coop is where I first got sober. It was the energy in that place was just incredible. I can't explain it. I went to meetings all over the valley. Coop just had a special place in my heart. And my home group was the 4D, which is the fourth dimension. It's a men's meeting and Sunday nights at 6 p.m. And if you're looking for a meeting, I highly recommend it. They're located in Tempe. It's over off of 60 and Rural. It's right behind the Denny's, right in the same parking lot as the AMF bowling alley. They are an incredible hall. If you're looking for a meeting, they got all types of NAAA, CA. Check them out. I highly recommend it. And you can look them up online at pigeoncoop.org. Last shout I'm going to give out to is our brother, who the reason why we're here doing this. He is the man behind the curtains. He's the man that pulls all the strings. He's our brother Ryan, and he owns and operates Buy to Buy Studios. We are so appreciative of what he does for us and all the work that he puts in for our podcast. It's incredible what he does, the time and effort that he puts in that he doesn't have to. We love him to death. We're so appreciative. Not only does he do this for us, but he also owns his own moving company. And I'm telling you, he is doing an incredible job with it. And what's awesome is he's not having to advertise. It's all word of mouth. And the way he's getting things done, he's showing up on time. He's getting the product delivered. It's being put together properly. It's if it's needing to be hung up, it's being hung properly. He knows what he's doing. So if you're needing any type of transportation or pickup of any type of furniture or anything else, definitely check it out. Ryan, I forgive me, I forget what is the website for your for the moving.
BUYTOBYE.com.
That's buytobuy.com.
Buytobuy.com. Check them out. Highly recommend it. Ryan is the owner and operator of the company, and I've watched him grow with this company, and I couldn't be more proud. He's doing an incredible job with it.
Thank you, brother.
Absolutely.
So let's get the real business out of the way first. It's hump day on 69.
I know. When he sent that text, I was out with Donovan. I showed him that. He's like, he just giggled.
There's some parts of juvenile me that I hope never dies,
I was literally just talking about that with one of the staff members at my physical therapy yesterday. I was like, there's just two things, because I go on traction. You know what traction is?
No.
Okay, so it's you're put on a table, and it's either you can have it done for your neck or you can have it done for your back, and you're strapped in, but then the table moves and kind of pulls on your back or pulls on your neck.
I get you. Okay, so it's like the rack, but not to kill you.
Correct.
Gotcha.
So I asked the question yesterday. I was like, hey, has anyone ever farted when you were strapping them down? Because they strap it down pretty tight. And he's like, no, it hasn't happened to me yet. I was like, yeah, it's just two things I'm always going to find funny until the day I die is watching someone get hit in the nuts and someone farting.
And farts,
Just,
yeah.
I don't know what it is about those two, but I'll just always laugh about it.
That's why old Danny Tanner had such a long career on America's Funniest Home Videos.
And Carlton took that torch and is still running with it.
Oh, there was some other guy that sucked before him, though.
Bob Saget?
No, not Bob Saget. That's Danny Tanner, man.
No.
Gotcha.
There's a guy after him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Tom Bergeron.
Is that who it was?
Yeah. He does Dancing with the Stars. Or he did Dancing with the Stars, I think.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember him after Bob Saget. And then, Carlton took over.
Alfonso Ribeiro, to be fair.
Yep. Yeah, I was about to ask. I was like, I know his name is
Yep.
Big A.
Yep. I made so you know how Britt and I will, since we got the Paramount Plus, we'll run back and we're watching old reality shows. So I'm getting caught up on the Real World right now. And we're on Key West. And
West is
one of
season 5?
I don't even, I think.
That was a shot in the dark.
5 or 6.
Idea.
Yeah, I don't know. But we were, what's her name's abusive boyfriend sent her a care package, and in it was a bottle of Cristal. And then they made the joke of, oh, don't show what's her name, who was the mixed lady. And I was like, oh, this must have been before the owners of the company came out and said they don't want black people drinking it.
Ding, 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 ding.
And Brittany goes, what? And I said, there's a whole Jay-Z line about that. Made me feel
he
like
literally got his own liquor
yep.
in order to have his own because he was spending so much on what everyone considered the best that by the time he got to where he is, he was like, I don't need to drink Cristal. Like it's like, Tommy Hilfiger was on that same boat. Like he was on some pseudo racist shit back in the 90s, early 2000s. And so I remember there was a boycott. I remember that. I remember that was like the first thing I remember to where it was like not like necessarily canceled, but like someone was problematic and people were reacting to that.
Is that how Fubu came about?
I don't know if that was the inspiration so much as it was a viable competitor, and his reaction to that, I think, was in response to Fubu. So,
Man, speaking of Fubu, I remember all the kids, where I grew up in my place, in my town that, grew corn and soybeans. There was the kids that, were hood.
I'm
It
pretty
was
sure I
always
still
fun.
have Fubu stuff in my closet.
Oh no, but I'm talking about these white as fuck kids wearing Fubu and like Echo
Oh yeah.
Unlimited.
Well, you remember
Me and Brody.
is, is it the Offspring who did Pretty Fly for a White Guy?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the main character in that video has a Fubu jersey on. So yeah, and Eminem was hot at that time as well. So it was like a clash of the Titans all at the same time.
Yep. And then what's it? Malibu's Most Wanted came out. And,
Yep, that was reiterating that stereotype. So
oh yeah.
man, that was such a terrible movie.
Oh, it's garbage. Garbage.
So bad. I don't think Jamie Kennedy's ever fully recovered from.
I don't know if he ever fully recovered so much as he decided he was never gonna stoop that low again. I think that was
Yeah.
his reckoning moment. He was like, okay, I don't need to do that again.
Yep.
True that.
Yeah. So that was my thought for the day. That oh hey, they had to hide it from the half black girl. Must have been.
And so,
Dude, that show is fucked up.
I mean, this being a podcast about sobriety,
Yeah.
is so problematic to like be like, here, consume as much alcohol as you possibly can. Now function, and we'll call it real. like,
Yeah.
like, what? You're skewing the reality out of the gate. When you
Oh
want-
no, you're drunk. What drama are you getting into this
No
evening?
doubt. Oh, what? Watch this person get thrown out of the bar. No way.
No,
way.
how did that happen? And then this season's particularly fucked up because I don't know. Because Ryan, you watched like the challenge and stuff. Do you remember Paula?
I used to watch the shit out of Real World, Road Rules, The Challenge, Fear Factor, all of that garbage. Yes. Paula, is she the blonde?
She's a blonde, and
Yep.
so she showed up, and she's like a bulimic that's dealing with a bunch of mental issues. Her boyfriend had like beat the shit out of her, like put her in the hospital.
Yep.
And they're like, we should put this girl on TV.
So the idea is, representation. So they fill the
Yeah.
house with, a cast of characters that's supposed to make up some aspect or what the country looks and acts like. But again, when the premise is them wasted, it's just like, I get it. It's to loosen them up.
Mhm.
But it's not like truth serum. You're not doing it so they're introspective and it's a show about their mental health. It's let's abuse their PTSD and let it just come flying out, no holds barred, because it's fueled by alcohol. Like, it's so problematic. So problematic. It was incredibly addicting television. Awful for I mean, again, like mental health, I never once heard that talked about. Like, yes, they're dealing with issues, but they highlight the issues. They didn't talk about the overall, how it's just a spectrum of overall mental health. So, yeah,
Well, in this one, Paula actually goes and sees a psychologist a couple times at least.
good deal. Yeah. So they
But-
they
but
did. They made efforts, but yeah, you put them all and you give them a job at a bar. It's like, it's you guys.
Yeah,
It's
then they-
literally you
then
guys. You know
Then
what I
she,
mean?
then she goes home and calls her abusive ex-boyfriend. And they talk about how much they love each other, and then they talk about how much they hate each other and shit.
Which is a peek into what really happens, right? So it
Yep.
shows the Stockholm syndrome and codependency issues and a lot of really serious, heavy stuff. But when you're showing it to 14-year-olds under the guise of watch this drama, it's very mixed signals, very, very confusing.
Yeah. Then you have a bunch of people that are like, this is how life's supposed to be.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just
Just
think now, and all because all that was before social media, really,
Mhm.
and so nobody
Yeah.
had, not everybody didn't have a phone in their pocket with the ability to get on Twitter or Instagram. Like now, that would be tough to be in that house and to not have any contact with the outside world because you're in the bubble of the real world. Um, but all of what you're watching was all pre maybe MySpace,
Yep.
maybe.
Yeah.
So
Probably MySpace. But so Karamo from the Austin season ended up being one of the new uh, Queer Eye for the Straight Guy dudes.
I was about to say he looked familiar before he got on that show, and he started getting a lot more attention. And then as soon as you said it, as soon as you said his voice, I was like, that's where that motherfucker's from. Yep.
Hmm. And then because Brittany found a news article about him because it come to find out, he was, living his life and trying to do stuff after the show. And he gets a subpoena in the mail because his ex-girlfriend, before he came out, I guess she got pregnant and disappeared, and she was suing him for 10 years back child support. So and he talks about how, he had to come to grips with having a 10-year-old son as a gay man, and
Right.
how he's worked with the mother of the kid. And he was like, yeah, I adopted him. He lives with me full time. And I also adopted his half brother.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I was like, what a stand up dude.
Right.
Throughout and then his whole storyline through that was, he grew up, he pretty much grew up hating white people.
Because of his experience,
So,
right?
well, and his dad was like, you need to be immersive in black culture, and nothing else matters.
And he's a closeted homosexual in the 90s.
Yep.
On national television. Yeah.
Yep. He came out right away, and he was like, you'd never know it, because none of the guys, like, because he's not stereotypical.
Right. He was more like Diesel, and he was less flamboyant then, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And he was talking about how he's like, no, I only date dudes that are kind of, hip hop. That's my thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that show it's like a peek back in time. It's crazy. It's what it's available.
Well, I mean, it's like seeing any of the stuff where people will talk about this generation of music and how it isn't shit and blah blah blah, and then you hear that one song back from your heyday, and you're just like, this is fucking terrible. But so I think that's hilarious when people use that as a reason to discredit or to how they do the Gen Z and the millennials and whatever. Like, yeah, I get it, man, but it's a cycle. We all go through the same shit. We're all just spread out by a decade.
I get down with the Bloodhound Gang still.
Oh shit!
I immediately knew the title of the song you were probably referring to and the speed, the tempo, how many BPMs it is, because it's like ingrained in my brain from looking through the sheets and being that is crazy.
I was talking to I talked to Scarlett a lot more now that she's like comfortable. We were talking the other day. She's like, can we listen to my music, please? And I said, I'm driving. You drive. We can listen to whatever you want to, but I'm driving. She goes, yeah, but I just don't like listening to your stuff all the time. And I said, Scarlett, I'm going to straight up tell you, I'm at the age where I don't like what you listen to.
That's not cool, man.
It's
That's not cool.
I listen, like, I'm already going to tell you, I would not have an enjoyable time driving, listening to the stuff you enjoy, and it's not a dig at you. It's just I have accepted my old man status, and I'm moving on with my life.
True. However, you're missing a huge opportunity to at least be familiar with what it is, so that way you also gain cool dad status because you're in the know without having to be into the fluff.
Well, so I catch bits and pieces here and there from just stuff on social media and commercials and things, but it's not like I sit down and
No, I know, but what are you gaining by reiterating the fact that you are who you are? like she knows that, bro.
I'm
She knows
proud.
that. Like, I mean, give her a song or two. Like, give her something that allows her. Because I mean, I listen to Baby Shark so much still. It's like, and then they hear my music and they ask to get more, but I give it to them a little bit at a time, just because I don't want that. I don't want for them to only want to hear PJ Masks or whatever they're into in the moment. But yeah, so whenever they hear my songs and they're like, "Oh, this is that," and Rylan is getting really good with words, and so she sees the lyrics scrolling, and so she tries to read along with what it's saying. And it's funny because one of her favorite artists is Billie Eilish right now, and there's a song where she says "damn" in it, and she knows that
Mhm.
that's a bad word, and so she doesn't want to listen to Billie Eilish right now because she's mad at her for saying "damn." It's hilarious, dude.
Well,
I'm saying, give her a song, man. Just try it,
I I get where you're coming from. All right,
That's what
because
I
you
do
know,
with my
she's gonna
kids.
appreciate
Anytime
that
I'm driving,
because every time she gets in the car, she's expecting you to play Bloodhound Gang.
no,
And she's not telling you that you can't play Bloodhound Gang. She's just saying, here's where I'm at, because I guarantee you she wants to show off and show you something that is kind of like her identity, right? Because
mhm.
that has memories attached to it and has all these things, which she's starting to experience that, and she's literally trying to share that with you, and you're being a fucking bear about it. I'm just giving you that perspective. That's all I'm trying to say. That's it. Because you're gonna be the bear. You're not proving a point by being the bear more. If that makes sense.
It
And I
does. I
guarantee
get
you,
you.
she loves you for the bear that you are. But she's like, Dad, listen to this bullshit music you're not going to be able to tolerate, and you just gotta fucking give it a smile, and hopefully, in conversation down the line at dinner, you're able to reference it at one point, and then you win, and that's it. And you get the fucking W for suffering through whatever she wants to show you. Or she might do what Rylan does, and she might pick something random that blows your mind, and it's something you already like. So,
So I heard watermelon sugar high enough that I was like,
well, I mean, I'm not gonna defend that at all.
but that Puppy Dog Pals theme song, banger.
There you go. There you go. I mean, like the Troll soundtrack, like they redid Atomic Dog, so I like that soundtrack every time anyway, simply because Parliament Funkadelic has a huge place in my heart and in my upbringing. So, uh, and then seeing her, get loot, and the faces that she makes when she hears certain kinds of music, like rock and roll, she gets aggressive, and then rap or hip hop, she gets aggressive, but in a different way. And then if it's Let It Go or if it's Frozen or a ballad, then she acts like a princess or whatever. And so, but I have to listen to those songs too, man. And believe me, as a former DJ, like having to hear songs you don't like is part of the gig. It's part of the gig. Doesn't mean I want to hear it anymore. Doesn't mean when someone who's inebriated comes up and tries to turn you into a jukebox, it's not fun. But now I'm a jukebox with I told my wife, I was like, I DJ'd for 20 years to prepare myself to be a jukebox for my daughters. And that's where I'm at right now. So, but yeah,
How's the
good on Watermelon Sugar High. I'm good never
yeah,
hearing that song again.
song's dog shit?
Man. Anyway, you were about to say what?
I was gonna say, Paul, how's Bree feeling?
she's good. She, I guess, the night before had started, and so she only got about 2 hours of sleep, and that was the whole reasoning behind that.
Are we going
Yeah.
to compound on what started is, or
I'm gonna go
Being
ahead.
so menstruating? You can say the word.
sure, yeah, yeah.
And this is the first time.
No,
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 okay,
no. First time, no.
okay.
It's just the night before. So this last weekend was busy as shit. I cleaned the entire house on Friday, and then picked up the kids, And then we had dinner, hung out, watched which I was super stoked about because me and Des had already watched it, the Friends reunion. We literally paid for the HBO Max for $15 just to watch that.
So did Britt.
What?
So did Britt.
So I was stoked because Brianna's a huge Friends fanatic as well. And Dom, not so much, but both of them watched it with us. And then I had to get up early on Saturday to go pick up a bunch of tables and chairs because we were hosting Brandy's baby shower, which I think 45 people came over. And so I was having a lot of anxiety dealing with that. And so, and then Brianna, I guess, started that night and only got like 3 hours of sleep. And so then when we got up and got her going, she was like, "Oh, I'm not feeling good on the ride over. Like, are you just tired?" She's like, "Oh, I'm just not feeling good." And finally, she told Des like what was going on. And I'm like, "Dude, why didn't you just tell us at the house, man? You could have just stayed at the house and we would have gone." But it is what it
Where,
is.
where were you guys going?
What?
Where were you guys going? Where'd you go
To a
to?
surprise birthday party. Yeah, I'm just a little bummed out that I didn't go and sit at the other table for a little while because I realized I hadn't seen those guys since Bryce's wedding, and that was like what 8 years ago.
Something like that, yeah. And then you missed the boys' picture.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Wait, so you were there and you didn't get the group picture?
No, because he bounced out early.
Yeah, we had to leave early because Brianna wasn't feeling good.
Sure.
And yeah, so well, I was having such a good time catching up with Randy, and like I felt bad because I saw Fleming and fucking
Josh.
Thank you. We're sitting at the other table, and I'm like, God damn it! And then Quentin came in, and I was like, son of a bitch! Like, I wanted to go hang out, but me and Randy were just catching up because he just couldn't believe how big the kids were. Because last time he had seen them, they were super young.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember, but Brianna used to be super protective over Randy, and would not allow any girls around him. Would like get really upset, and then Randy and Bryce would use Dominic in the pool and have him go swim over to girls and say, "Hi, pretty lady," and then they would be like, "Who are you with?" And he would point over to Bryce and Randy. Randy even one time borrowed Dominic and went to the park. Shit you not.
So Ryan, Randy is he's Dominican.
Okay.
So you got this Dominican guy being like, "Here's my white as fuck son."
Yeah, no kidding.
It happens, man.
Man, yeah, no, I hadn't seen Kyle since, well, we went out and had dinner with them, what, 2 years ago? Something like that.
Casey?
Yeah, him and Casey. It was just me and I think Ruth was like a couple months old, 2 or 3 months old.
Okay.
So then I saw Josh for lunch on like the 2nd. But I hadn't seen his wife in like 10 years. That's not
Jamie,
true.
right?
Huh?
Jamie? Is that her name?
Ashley.
Ashley.
Yeah, that's Josh's second Ashley wife.
Second?
Yeah. No, he married his first wife was his high school sweetheart. Her name was Ashley. Total thunderous bitch. He did not like her from the moment we met her when they were living on military housing out there. She just fucking sucked. And then on our second deployment, she went back to Illinois and then made a secret Facebook page and was dating Josh's best man at their wedding.
Damn. Wait, so Josh is from the same area you're from?
Josh is actually he's from Mattoon. It's probably about an hour and a half away from where I grew up.
What a trip.
Yeah.
Small world, man.
Mm-hmm. And then, Randy and Shane were there. Kyle and his wife, Casey.
Yep. Ashley and Josh.
Ashley and Josh. Nate and Bobby.
Yep.
Nate and Bobby and their kids.
And Quentin came in.
And Quentin was there with himself.
Yep.
Just vibing, putting the vibe out, seeing if there's any gentlemen around. I fucking love that dude, man.
Oh, dude, he's awesome.
I was like the second person he came out to. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, we were at like I think we were at Robbie Fox's before it closed down there on Mill. It was during like the day. He goes, Jake, I have to tell you something. And I said, okay. He pulls me over and it's him and Ashley, and he goes, this was before he came out all the way, but he's like, I have to tell you I'm bi. I looked at him and I said, so? And that was the end of that. He's like, that's really all you have to say about that? And I was like, yeah, man, good for you. Live your life. All right. You want a shot or something? I figured you'd be the one that was like, upset. Like, why the fuck would you figure that?
Yeah, no kidding. How funny.
That's been my dude ever since. It's funny, like, because he's from Detroit, like Detroit proper.
What does that mean?
Like, he's from the streets, the hood, if you will.
Oh, okay.
And if you ever meet I met his brother Justin at his ASU graduation, and he's, here's my I'm dressed like a rapper. I'm from Detroit, motherfucker. Like, and here's Quentin with his head to toe fancy dress, bow tie. I fucking love you guys, man.
Nah, he's a gentle soul. I like.
He definitely is. He's a good man.
Yes, he is.
How
much longer were you guys there for?
Oh, probably about another hour and a half or so.
Oh man, damn it! I wish I could have stayed.
It's okay. The reason why we were there for so long is because the waitress kept on forgetting to come take Brittany and I's order for food.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that was pretty cool. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh my god!
We had so much fun holding Marley. Oh my god!
Yeah. Oh, and we passed her off right away.
Oh yeah. So like,
Ryan,
as soon as you got there, you set it on the table and it was done.
Well, it's like we didn't know where we were sitting, or I didn't know. I had no clue what was going on, obviously. But we sat Marley down and we didn't hold her until you guys left, pretty much.
Yeah, she's complete opposite of Ruth.
Well, Ruth, you missed it when Ruth warmed up.
Oh, really?
She decided that she was done pretending that she was shy. Like jumping from chair to chair. Like,
her little outfit was so cute.
So I hope you're looking. You better catch me. Bro, that kid. Now, it's at the point now where she'll fall and she'll bounce her head off the tile, and she'll look at me and go, "I'm okay."
You're gonna be in the hospital before like that. That was
So,
Dom,
mhm.
and I was in the hospital by the time he was 5 because he decided to take an ornament that was an apple off the tree and bite into it and sliced open his fucking lip or his his cheek inside completely. Didn't cry. I had to get stitches, and I was like, dude, oh my god. That's why I'm fearful he's gonna be the one that makes me a grandfather before I'm 40.
Well, live life.
No shit, dude. Well, that's what I'm attempting to do right now, man. Like, yesterday's therapy session was really good. Like, this
Go
was,
on.
I think, I can't remember if it was my third or my fourth session, but I was gonna give her a chance. And what I liked about her from to begin with was she was opposite of the majority, if not all, of the other therapists I'd ever seen. Um, Pretty much majority of the therapists I had seen in the past, they would do all the talking. And this therapist, I'm being open and 100% honest. And what I like about her is she holds me accountable, and I'm pretty much talking 70% of the time. And this last time, what came about was my anxiety about going back to work because I'm having a lot of anxiety going back to work. And we talked about, where what my lack of purpose is and holding myself accountable and like doing the things that I need to be doing because like granted I've been going through some mental shit and the seizures and everything, but I literally just started looking for jobs yesterday when I had a month off already and wasn't doing anything except sitting around watching TV. And we found out I found out it came to fruition that in the last 24 years that I've been working from the first job to the job that I'm working right now, I've gotten the job because I knew somebody. Never
Mhm.
once had to go out and get the job on my own. And so I decided to start doing some research, and each day uh, my therapist said we're going to add something into my day each day to make it so that I'm not just sitting around. So like for example, last 2 weeks I've gone to the gym 3 times. I went yesterday, which I started a new routine. It was freaking awesome. My physical therapist, I asked her, I was like, hey, what kind of cardio can I do with my hips and my back? And she's like, I don't want you running. And I was like, well, shit, that's what I've been doing for the last 2 weeks. I've been running. She's like, no, it's too hard to impact. And she's like, what I want you to do is ride the bike that has a back support before you go work out, go do your workout, and then do the stair stepper. And I was like, okay. So I rode the bike yesterday. I did 2 miles in 10 minutes, did chest workout, and then did the stair stepper for 10 minutes and did 517 steps. And I felt it in my butt, my abs, my legs, everywhere, dude. I'm really digging this routine. I would have worked out today, but I went and hung out with Donovan. And so tomorrow I'm going to do back and do the same routine. But yeah, the therapist, it got me thinking that if I'm so miserable at this job, why am I still there?
Mhm.
Like I haven't made the choice to because I enjoy sitting in my misery. I don't know why, but my therapist helped me. Well, we got to find your purpose. Well, I know what I don't want. I know that I don't want to sit in an office. I don't want to be in a cubicle. That's just not what I'm built for. I gave it over almost 3.5 years. I've given it a chance, and it helped build a foundation. It helped get me sober. It helped get me out of the life. However, at the same time, now I'm in a very different place in my life, and I miss working with my hands. And so I went online yesterday and was online for about 3 hours on Indeed and applied for 4 different jobs that all of them have full medical. And I realized I don't want to do any type of service work. Like, I don't want to be around people. I prefer to be behind the scenes building shit. Like, my all-time favorite job in my past was building waterfalls. Like, I actually legit enjoy going to work. Like, I own that shop. That shop was mine to do whatever I wanted, and I would turn pieces of plastic or pieces of glass or whatever the structure was going to be for the waterfall, and it went from nothing into something beautiful, and it was incredible. I really missed doing that, and had I not been so disrespected by my boss, I'd probably still be doing it today. And so I decided, you know what, I'm gonna look for something that requires me to use my hands, because I need something. Even though I miss working with my hands, I need something that's going to activate me mentally. I need something that's going to continuously stimulate me and keep me, like, that's what I always loved about construction is, like, for example, my job right now, you could train a monkey to do it. Like, I'm not taking away from the fact that my job's not important, but it's the same shit day in and day out. There's no variance whatsoever. Where with construction, yeah, for example, with plumbing or air conditioning or concrete or drywall or framing, whatever it may be, yeah, you're doing the same shit, but there's little variances between the jobs and what you do, and you have to problem solve. And God forbid if something doesn't fit, okay, do I have room to cut more? Or what do I have to do? Like, I really enjoy doing that shit, and that's why I've realized, you know, the office life is not for me. And it was so cool coming to that fruition yesterday in therapy, and it was rad. It was a cool experience.
I'm good, man. No, man. For that cup of coffee I spent working at that bank, I, I knew you shouldn't be there. I knew I shouldn't be there.
Yep. I think what
Hey,
it is I have loyalty issues when it comes to employers, and I feel like, especially if someone's got me the job, I don't want to make them look bad. And like last night, it was so cool. Me and Dez, we talked for like 3.5 hours. It was like, so I had this good, awesome therapy session, and we talked about a multitude of things. And one of the things was me and Desiree's relationship. It's not the best, but we're both in just off places right now, and a lot of stress is going on. And so pretty much our life right now is, she goes to work, she comes home for lunch, I make her hookah, we hang out for a minute, she leaves, comes home for from work at 5 or 5:30, we make dinner, we watch some Game of Thrones, go to sleep, wash, rinse, repeat. It's the same shit over and over. And so it was so cool last night sitting around with Des and actually talking. And what was so cool, something that she mentioned, was that if I go out and actually get this job on my own, I don't have to worry about failing anybody, because there's nobody, because that's always been so important to me, is if someone's putting their name on me, like, I'm gonna do my, like, because you know me, like, my work ethic is impeccable. Like, that's one thing I can stand 100% behind. I'm always confident that my work ethic is amazing. And so when, fuck, I just lost my train of thought.
you're talking about how good it would feel to get this job on your own.
Yes. And so, all the times, I've gotten the job because of somebody else, I didn't want to leave, because, like, let's say, like, all the jobs I've had, I got bored of pretty quick. in the beginning, like I would have this excitement, like, oh my God, this job's amazing. I love it, blah, blah. And then 6 months later, I'm like, I hate this job, blah, blah. But I would stay there because so-and-so got me the job. I wouldn't, speak up. I wouldn't do anything because I never wanted to give them a bad name. So now on this point where I'm doing the research, and Des made a good point. She's like, yeah, they're hiring you, but at the same time, you're hiring them. You got to vet them just as much, and, ask the questions. Those are questions that I've never asked because I always just felt it's their job to figure out what my pay is going to be and what all that, instead of asking the questions, hey, what's your compensation like? What's it take to make it to a manager, or blah blah blah? All the different examples, and what great questions to ask in an interview. And so these are things I'm going to take with me, because I think the reason why, because I was talking about it last night with Des, I was like, I wonder if, because I've always been confident with my interviews, because every interview I've ever had, I've always gotten the job. And I thought about last night, I was like, I wonder if there's been any times that I already had the job before the interview, but it just wasn't discussed. And here I am thinking I'm so badass at interviews, but maybe subconsciously I knew I already had the job. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, no, I understand that. Like, Michael pretty much told me I had the job when I came and interviewed with the bank. But he's like, well, we have to interview other people for,
Right.
I was like, oh, so I didn't have to be here? Like, there's something fulfilling about earning a position. It's like actually making the team rather than everybody could be on the team.
Ooh, I like that reference. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a good reference.
Because you earned your spot.
Yep.
You earned the opportunity to prove your worth to your employer.
I think what it was for me, the reason why, because my therapist asked, she's like, why do you think that is? Why do you think that you've always had to have? Because my dad always taught me, never leave a job until you have a job lined up.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always done that. Like, every job that I've had, I got while I was working at the current job that I was at. And so, like, thinking yesterday with the therapist, it was like, God damn it, dude, this is
You're talking about.
don't know.
I thought you lost your train of thought.
I did. They don't know if this shit's ever gonna come back or not. It's frustrating. I feel like an idiot when I talk.
No, you're not. No, don't feel like an idiot. You had a traumatic brain event on top of bashing your noggin. It's parts in your brain that used to be fluid are kind of confused right now. Like, the river's a little dammed up. It's gonna catch some sticks every so often. It's all right.
I appreciate the patience. Thank you.
Dude, I've had all of the concussions. I got you. If there's one thing I understand, it's this right here. No, you were talking about how your dad always taught you you don't ever leave a job until you have another job.
Right. But I was talking about something before that with my therapist. What was it? Oh, she asked me why she thought I never wanted to look for a job on my own, and I was like, because I was honestly fearful. If that meant, because that means if I went out and did it on my own and I didn't get the job, that means I failed, and I can't accept that. Where if I have a connection, I already know I'm going to get the job. Cool, it's good to go.
I get you. I only did that once. Well, no, twice. So I was working at the fish market in Washington, Illinois, and then my boy Danny offered me, hey, come down here and work oil with us and make, double what you're making now. And I said, okay. And the second time was also in South Texas. I was working. After the price of oil crashed, I had to go work, right? So I got a job at Caterpillar in Victoria, Texas, and that's where the excavator plant is.
Okay.
And it was also where they were going to build their trucks, but I think that fell through. But so I did that for about 4 or 5 months. But I got offered a job to be a delivery driver and forklift driver for a oil field parts company, pretty much. Got the fuck out of there as soon as I could.
At a Caterpillar?
Oh yeah. No, I'm not dogging Caterpillar necessarily. My grandpa worked for him for 30 years, and he still got his pension and insurance through them. I mean, and it's done great things for members of my family that could tough it out like that. Like assembly line work is fine, but so Texas is a right to work state.
Okay.
Right? But they ran their plant like a union plant.
Got it.
And that shit it's just not for me. And I'm not dogging people that are pro union or are proud of their union to be in their union, man, but like union, the reason why I left the fish market was because they refused to pay me what my job title was because I didn't have enough experience in it yet. Right?
Okay.
So that was the main reason for getting the fuck out of there. At this place, I had just come from an oil field where I was working, 80 plus hours a week with heavy tools and brass hammers to smack shit in the oil industry. So like I know how to use all the tools. I know what to do. And all their tools are set to their torque tools. So once they hit a certain torque, they stop. Right? So not hard, right? I got my ass chewed all the time for picking up tools that I wasn't trained to use. Like I'm talking wrenches, bro.
Really?
Like, and I understand rules like that exist because someone fucked it up in the past.
Right.
I get why they exist, but I can't function in shit like that. I can't.
Yeah, I couldn't
It's
either.
like, like you hired me with this experience, so I know how to do all this shit. But you're treating me like I'm, 16 and this is my first job. I can't do it.
So
Yep.
my situation at the bank was always meant to be temporary. I turned into a 6-year stint. So yeah, I didn't ever really want to be there. I just knew the stability in staying there in light of all of the BS and being incredibly overqualified for most of the stuff I did. Um, and the very beginning of that stint, they force you to fold mail for 8 hours a day. And so, Jake, as you were talking about, there's certain things that you think that are, it sounds shitty to say, but you think that there are things beneath you, right? You're like, I know how to do these things that have a level 5 difficulty. So this level 1 difficulty thing, I don't think that you should have me do this because I can do many other things, right? So the logic makes sense, and I had that in my head too. So the first 2 days, straight folding. And I'm talking about they literally have you folding this in the folding room machine in the folding machine room next to the folding machine. So you're doing it while a machine is doing the same thing, light years ahead of what you can do. And your job is twofold: is to one, fold, and two, if it gets caught up, to get it back working or to get someone who can. And that's it. And so my understanding now, having gone through it and seeing many, many, many people go through it, is it's a test, right? So they want to make
Yeah.
sure that you're not too egotistical going into a job, because if they don't know that you're going to be spiteful from day one, they don't want to make an investment in someone who is going to end up being a problem they have to fix. So,
Well, no, I completely understand that, and I definitely was too egotistical for that job. Like if I were to if that were to roll around today as a person now in his 30s, it'd be a different ball game. But I still hadn't sobered up yet. I was, no, I had just gotten sober. Yeah, I was still a lot more cocky.
sure.
No, so the thing with Caterpillar is they have I think it's a Caterpillar University, right, where you take online courses and quizzes.
Right.
I took all of my required courses for that year before I started my training
Okay.
at the college. I took all of the courses beyond that and beyond that and beyond that. So they work you into these this like belt levels of how educated in the job you are. So I was working on, before I quit, I was working on gear theory, like how to set up your gears and engines and different parts of the machine that work.
Sure.
I was already doing engineer shit by the time I had burnt out with the company. And I was like, I haven't even been here half a year. I think I was there for 4 or 5 months. And that was, I mean, sure, it was, me just seeing how far I could take it. But I'd present this stuff to my boss and he'd be like, that's great. Please put grease. I was like, well, okay. I mean, I'm just letting you know who you got.
Yep. Underappreciated, undervalued.
And I wouldn't even say I was undervalued, but it was one of those things. Oh yeah, and there was no tobacco on campus. And you know me, I've been gutting Copenhagen since I was
Yep.
16. So I mean, I'd walk in on my break, I'd throw a dip in, and I just go to work. Never spitting, never making a mess, nothing. And you have people snitching.
So that I love your perspective on that. Like, I love how you're annoyed that they said something about you who
Breaking the rules.
was completely disrespectful to the rules. Like, yeah, that's office life though.
Yeah.
Or that's just jobs that can be automated that aren't yet.
Yeah. No, and that's probably a good thing that I got out of there too, because that's definitely one of those jobs it's either not going to be in the United States too much longer, or it's going to be ran by full-on computers.
Sure. And when I started at the bank, I got that job. My buddy's mom worked there, and so she was like, "Oh yeah, tell Ryan to come in. He's got to do this, this, and that." And so it was my first ever job as a contractor, and so I was getting paid more than the FTEs because I wasn't getting benefits, and so but they wanted me to become an FTE like 5 weeks into the job, dude. Like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, and they definitely are they keep throwing things at me to see, because it's like, okay, trial by fire, and I keep passing all these tests, so they just keep throwing shit at me. And so there are people that have been there for a decade, and they're working loans that, even being there for a month and a half, I was like, this is cake. Like, a machine could most definitely dictate this stuff, and the only reason why they needed people to do it was because so much of the errors were done manually. They were handwritten, and this is all during the 2008 crash, but before everything is electronically uploaded. So it was just a giant shit show. So they needed human eyes to be able to go through that stuff. So we were doing grunt work. We always knew that we were doing stuff that was just them covering their tracks, and doing right by the bailout rules, or however they took care of it. But yeah, I knew, and I was always in the exception queue, which were all of the bullshit loans. So it was like I had no motivation to go to work. One, 2, to be there long term, and 3, to do stuff that I didn't care about. And all of those things were true. So it was like, on top of the fact that I was basically handed the job, and it was just like, yeah, not earning that job made me care about it so much less.
Hmm.
No, that makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. Paul pretty much got me that job at the bank. There's
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
yeah.
And when you have
But
that, when you have that easy access to employment like that, I don't know. It's like the opposite side of the coin of like, oh, don't let the illegals in. They're gonna take our jobs. Like, there are so many jobs that we just don't want to fucking do.
Mhm.
So many.
Yeah, and I don't think I was. I don't think I was necessarily disrespectful to the job. I think I was more disrespectful to office life than the job per se. Because I'd sit down and go to work. Like the work itself wasn't bad. Like I
Well,
enjoyed the work
but the
for
work
the
is
most
gonna need to get done whether you do it or not. So the fact that you had your own like animus behind it, like, oh, fuck these rules, like,
Well, well, it wasn't even the rules that I said fuck. It was just you know,
Management fucking
yeah.
sucks
And it's like,
balls.
all right, team meeting. How's everyone's week going? Like it's
no, dude, that's
we
just
got a
off. That's
we
office
got
culture everywhere. Yeah, it
yeah
sucks.
yeah. It's like we got a bunch of shit to do. Can we just go do it? Would that be all right with you? And then obviously proving that someone is lying about something and it keep getting kicked back to you. It's like
So imagine working at a job. You do it really well, so they keep giving you more responsibility. And instead of the people who came in with you and are doing something easier and they're only doing it by choice, they then try to throw you under the bus whenever shit goes wrong because they know the leads or the management are too lazy to follow the paper trail and see that I'm right. So
that's what
I
happens to Brit all the time.
Yeah, so I had people asking me about shit, why is it going on? And I'm step 5. And I'm like, what happened to steps 1 through 4? Let's see where it went wrong because before I got it, it was a shit show anyway. And so it became a science to me. Like, the process got thrown in my lap so many times, and it came from all different directions. It came from different departments. I'm just like, yo, you guys are just trying to throw the buck because I worked at bullshit. Like, don't give me more bullshit. I've got plenty. There's plenty to go around. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they just kept throwing it on my way, and until I pushed back, it was just they just kept doing it until I said no. So not fun.
Yeah, that's where Brittany's at because so they've worked it to a point where pretty much she'll never get her top marks for the maximum bonus at the end of the year, right?
Yeah.
And so it's at the point where she's not only doing a bunch of other people's work, she's also taking the fall for a bunch of people fucking up stuff. And then it's been me and a couple of her friends being like, well, then slow down.
And
Like,
I had conversations with other people who came in to try to do my job because they tried to replace me multiple times because I would push back and I would be like, not like your dip rule, but they would do some stupid thing that I'd be like, yo, this could definitely be done in an email. Like,
mm-hmm,
not trying to be disrespectful, but just trying to respect everybody else's time. Because they're asking us to do more work, but they're pulling us away from our workstations to have meetings that don't carry any weight. So yeah, just little things like that would be enough for them to want to throw me under the bus. And you're just like, God, all I want to do is make our jobs easier. But they want
yep,
credit for stuff. They want to make sure that again at the top of whatever list, and they'll purposely throw you in a shitty queue to where you get a bunch of loans that are awful that no one's been able to clear, and then ask you why your productivity's down.
yep.
So yeah, the handicapping is one of the small manipulations they do pettily when they can't do that shit themselves.
So I got a congratulations for being awesome with a new piece of software they were rolling out to help people with their claims
Nice.
and how to implement it and make it better. I got one from a member of the staff, and then I got one from management. Those Paul, what are those called? Your good job points or whatever.
I know what you're talking about. Fuck yeah, I don't know the term. I know exactly what you're talking about though.
But you can spend these points at the company store.
Yep.
Yeah, and I got a nice set of plates and a sweet ass duffel bag. But
I think I got a computer bag at one point.
yep. But like, so this was all. This was when they were starting to like really grind into me too. And they're like, "Oh wow, that's a great idea. We can tap into people's natural ability to be competitive with each other, and it'll be like a fun game we can play about who's better at claims that week." I was like,
I remember having a conversation with the manager, a regional manager, who came in from a different state and wasn't getting the results that he was seeking, and he kept trying to get transparency, and no one would give it to him because all the management was scared. They didn't want to be the
mm-hmm,
ones who ruffled feathers and then got, because like everybody does, they throw each other under the bus. And
mm-hmm,
so I was in the room with another manager because they were showing me work that they wanted me to be able to do in the event they were gone.
mm-hmm,
Basically, manager shit for not even an assistant manager, just a someone they can rely on. And so I'm in this meeting with my manager, and the regional comes in, and she's like, "Go ahead and tell them what you were talking about." I laid this thing all the way out. How why our productivity is down, what I see, what we can do, and why it's gonna work. Laid all that, like, literally. I talked for 10 minutes straight. Giant smile on this dude's face, and the first words out of his mouth was, "What else?"
Hmm.
And I was just like, and so I froze, and I looked at my manager like, "Is this a joke?" Because it was a big deal, and like there were people that were getting let go because no one could fix the problem. And I was like, "I'm sorry. I feel like I, I thought I was pretty thorough." I was like, "Did you not get understand something?" "No, we you know we got it. But is there anything else?" Hmm. Okay. No, that's it. That's all I got. Sorry for wasting your time. 3 months later, a plan gets rolled out that is identical to my suggestions, and they mention me nowhere. Not in the team meeting, not in the company, whatever, not in my team, not even my manager. Like, there was no pat on the back. And so I had people asking me, they were like, "Yo, isn't this what you were talking about?" I said, "I basically just gave it to him." And yeah, it changed things. Things got so much better, and no one said shit to me. And then they just kept, like, "Okay, now we're going to cross train you. We're going to cross train you and make sure that you can now do this also other thing. Instead of hiring a whole other person for a dedicated department, we're going to combine two departments and we're going to cross train you. Not pay you anymore, but you're going to have twice the responsibility." So it was like, yeah, it was just one thing after another after another. So it's like, at one point, not only is the pay not competitive, but it's like, at what point is just me as a person of zero value to them, to where they don't care what I've done for them. It's just I'm a body there filling a position. So I started my own business.
yep, yep. There's water. You know, my last straw was when they were yelling and screaming at me about taking my vacation time.
PTO. Oh man.
And then I requested some vacation time because my boy was moving out of state, and they said you can't because someone working totally different claims than you ever touch is on vacation. I said, "Here's my 2 weeks notice," and they cut me a severance package that day. I was out. And I was at my boy's going away party that day.
Yeah, that's they'll the hypocrisy of forcing you to take paid time off. That you did yours carry over? Did it end at the end of the year?
They gave me it was basically a month and a half worth of checks. Or are you
No,
talking
no,
about the
no.
vacation time?
I'm talking about vacation time. Did at the end of the year would you lose it if you didn't use it?
It was like a
Yeah.
week carried over, right? Or no?
No. Nothing carries over anymore. It ends at the end of the year.
Yes, I know people that would work for years and they'd be like, "Okay, yeah, no, no, no. Someone else has a day off, no big deal, no big deal," and they just pile those days on, and they have like months of PTO, and then they go try and use it for the days they want, and they're like, and they give you them that excuse. It's somebody else. Never taking
Mhm.
accountability or acknowledgement that your timekeeping skills suck, and you don't reach out to your employees and be like, "Hey, just a heads up, we're taking PTO. Get your requests in." Like, some good managers at least make that attempt, but a lot of them,
Yeah, we like there was like the lottery system. Seniority got the first pick, right?
Yep.
One thing I will say that they did that was real cool was I started before everything kicked in, and Ruth was born, and I got a week off to kick it with Britt after Ruth was born. So that was pretty rad.
That's
Like
it?
yeah.
Dang. And it's kind of sad that you think that that's something.
Well, that was before all my vacation time had kicked in. I hadn't earned enough days or whatever. And,
Well, sure, but like I
I
worked
was
for
only
the
there for
company.
I was only there for like a month and a half.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's an exception. I worked at my place of business for years. Had my first daughter, and it was getting it, and it got extended, so it went from 3 months to 6 months, and then my team got acquired by a different company, and that company gave 0 paternity time. So I didn't do anything different. My wife was pregnant with number 2. I got traded to a different team that I didn't ask to be traded to, and then when the baby came, I got no time off. So yeah, it was another reminder that it's always, feed the beast at all costs, at every corner, at all times. So I created my own beast. I guess I couldn't do it anymore.
Speaking of the beast, how's it been?
Tomorrow will be day 9 in a row of work. That's on top of doing the other podcast last night, you guys tonight. I think I have 7 stops tomorrow. Yeah, busy. Busy bee.
Hey, it ain't bad, man. It ain't bad.
No, I'm not complaining, but I did have. Oh, let me ask you this. So my van, what is it called? The oil pan under your engine, the bolt, the drain plug.
Yeah.
It is not the correct size, so I took it to a different place than where I bought it for the first time, and they said they would not touch it because they used the next size up bolt. I think it's normally 13 or 15 millimeters, and they used 16. And so they either rethreaded it or whatever the case was. So they said they couldn't do it because they turned it twice, and oil started coming out. And so he was like, I can't guarantee if I put this back on, it's going to stop. And so I was like, okay. And so I have to go back to the place I bought the vehicle and try and figure out how that's going to get handled. But yeah, I can't get an oil change right now, and I need one. So aside from that.
Nice. Well, do you need an SUV that can't fit any furniture in it to help you out, or?
No, one of my helpers, he has an extra vehicle. He has 2 of the same truck right now, and so he's like, if you need it, then you can take it. But I think it'll be okay for this week. But I need to get it taken care of. And if they say, oh, that's how it's been, we just work around it. And because I haven't had any oil issues, so if that's the case, then cool, and I'll just go them and have them take care of it. But they should have definitely let me know about that, because if I take it anywhere else, they won't work on it. So
if you need a hookup for a mechanic, dude, the chick who got me the job at the bank, her husband is a GM for off of Dobson and Maine.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, that's it's Brown Brothers, I think is the name of the dealership. It's off of Main and Mason Drive? Something like that. Up in that same area, though.
Yeah, just let me know if you want, and I can just let him know that I sent, and he'll hook you up. Like, I pay for a rotation of tires and oil change, $25.
Damn.
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at this. Paul knows a guy who knows a guy in every industry and shit.
Right?
I do. I told you, it's connections.
Doggone mafioso over here and shit. Talk to my cousin Vinny down at the shopping mall.
No, it's just something my mom always taught me. It's who you know, not what you know.
Mm-hmm.
And
networking is crucial.
True.
Networking is crucial in
Yeah.
everything you do.
Mm-hmm.
The line
I had
between networking and codependency, though, is really thin.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Yes, it is.
Really, really thin.
I had a conversation with a lady today on Zoom who's getting ready for her first bodybuilding show. She's doing wellness, just a mental health checkup. Just we have met each other through the FitOps organization. Just things like that. But it's not like it's networking. Had to give her a pep talk about it's the fitness industry. If you're doing something better than somebody else, they're going to talk shit. And don't worry about it hurting your client base, because the people who are going to work with you are going to work with you no matter what. It's just all a matter of finding your balance between being aggressive and standing up for yourself. Like, people are going to talk shit behind your back. Don't let them talk shit in front of your front.
Yep.
Speaking of
Couldn't
people
agree
talking
with you
shit,
more.
the Suns just won Game 2 and are up now 2-0 on the Denver Nuggets in the
Congratulations to the
The
Phoenix.
game's
Suns.
already over.
just ended.
I thought it started. It's like 6:30.
It is almost 9 o'clock, sir.
Oh shit!
We've
Do me
been
a favor. Can
talking.
someone see if the Dodgers won? Because the Giants
Who?
and the Padres lost.
Hang on. The Dodgers beat the Pirates 2-1.
Yes. Yes. Giants and Padres lost, so now we're only 2 games behind the Giants. Tampa Bay lost. Now we're only 3 games behind them. So fuck yeah.
Well, the Royals are getting ready to fucking lose this whole ass series to the fucking Angels. So
Hey, it couldn't be as bad as the fucking Diamondbacks. They're the worst team in the fucking league.
it just feels good, to not be the worst team in the league. Have a
I think Kansas City's at what, 24?
the Royals are back to having an almost a 500 seasons again. So it's gonna be that mediocrity for the next fucking 35, 40 years. Just
Well, their wins though, they only have like what, 24 wins?
29.
Wait.
They're 29 and 30. They're 29 and 30.
Okay.
Because they turned around and monkey fucked the Rangers.
And the Rangers are who just beat the fucking Giants.
Yeah, but like obnoxious scores, like 12-1 type shit.
Really?
And now they're out here showing their ass to these Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Fucking turds. Playing baseball whenever they want. These millionaires playing a sport for my enjoyment. Those sons of bitches.
Tell you what, though, man.
I'm entitled to their effort.
Right? The game of baseball, though, man, it's just a beautiful game.
I don't think really anything beats baseball in person for me. Like, I love at the stadium.
Yeah.
Like on TV, if it's an important series or game, no. If it's an important series, I'll sit and watch, but I can't actually just sit down and watch baseball usually. I don't have the attention span for it.
Oh, see, I love baseball. Baseball and football, man. I can sit and watch it in person TV no matter what.
I can watch football anytime, anywhere.
Baseball's the only sport you can take a nap in the middle and wake up and still catch the end of the game.
Oh, NASCAR, bro.
Yeah,
NASCAR. You let the hum of the engines just lull you. Then you just wake up. Oh God, there's a bloody mess in turn 3.
Is that why they show NASCAR? Is that why racing events are around holidays? So after you eat too much food, you just hear the vibration of the cars zooming by and it puts you to sleep.
Oh, we used to watch when it was NASCAR season. We would on Saturdays we watched the truck or the minor league race. I don't know what it's called now, but it used to be the Busch League series. That's where that joke comes from. And then on Sundays after church, we'd watch whatever the Winston Cup series. It's the whatever it is now. Remember, Nextel bought the rights to be the title sponsor, and I don't even know if they exist anymore. But
I remember it being the Winston Cup.
fucking when Dale Earnhardt really was the Intimidator and didn't give a fuck, was wrecking his cars and other people's on purpose all the time.
Yep.
Fucking dick. Love that guy. R.I.P. Dale. Hey Ryan, have you watched I Am Athlete? Any of those podcasts?
I feel like I have, but I couldn't tell you anything about him.
It's the I should know the other guys' names because they were NFL players too, but it's Ocho Cinco and Brandon Marshall.
Yeah, I've seen bits and pieces of their show, but I haven't tuned in.
I really like it.
Yeah.
I really like it.
Well,
that
Brandon
tied in.
Marshall, he's got a history of mental health issues. And he really dedicated his life to, and his nutrition especially, to giving him as much control over, his situation. But yeah, he is an enigmatic player as well as Ocho Cinco. I mean, he just got hit.
Well, that's where he and Ocho always butt heads. Have you seen the Ocho versus Science hashtag that goes around?
No, I have not.
It's because he'll tell you straight up how he gets ready for things is he eats McDonald's every day.
Oh God.
And that's his he'll tell you, it's like, no, I'll go and I'll eat McDonald's. Like when he was getting ready for this last that fight, that random professional fight that he was in,
Yeah.
the exhibition fight, he's like, oh yeah, I did pretty good for a guy who trained 6 weeks.
But see, if you're only gonna do that, you don't get to say that. It's like tying your hand behind your back and go, ooh, look at me, I tied my hand behind my back. Okay.
That dude's just out living life. After he had that whoopsie-daisy with his now ex-wife, and then slapping his lawyer's butt in front of the judge.
Yeah. They've got
but he went and he became a professional soccer player. He rode a bull in a PBR tournament, like the professional bull riders for real.
Yep.
And how he's gone about and changing his thing is he's always got his fingers in different pies and trying things out.
Yep.
And then he leaves $1,000 tips whenever he goes out and shit.
No, he definitely understands the value of money.
Yep.
And using it to do as much as you can with the time you have. So I got respect for his mindset, no doubt.
Yep. He's still him, but he's turned it into really focusing on being a positive person with the time he's got left for his kids and stuff.
Yeah. Did they talk about his fight?
I didn't watch it, but it ended up being it was an exhibition, so no one was really declared a winner. But the guy who was fighting was he's a pro bare knuckle fighter. They were both in gloves.
Oh yeah, no, he got whopped around the room. He held his own, but at the end it was like.
Yeah, I heard he got knocked down at the last round.
Yeah, he had the opportunity to protect himself, and he didn't. And he got careless, and the other guy was like, you could tell, he turned it on, and it looked instinctual. It didn't look like he was trying to hurt him. He was just like, oh, you're that wide open, and just said, bop, and then he just fell, and you're just like, okay, yep, there's the separation.
He's trying to pull some Muhammad Ali shit.
No, it's just like a street fight when two drunk guys are outside and they're trying to square up, and it starts off reasonably, there's a science to what they're trying to do to the mayhem, and then by the time they get gassed a little bit, it's sloppy. That's what it looked like.
It's whoever's discipline cracks first, kind of thing.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite Twitter followers.
Twitter, yeah.
Yeah, he's great. Him and the Iron Sheik. Yeah,
So
no, I am an athlete. The reason why I got brought up, just circle all the way back, is they did a series with like three drivers. One was it wasn't Danica Patrick, but it was another woman driver, and then they did Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Jr. took him out in the track and drove him around, and then they did Kyle Busch because they talk about how Kyle Busch has become this villain. And that's his persona that he has encompassed. And they get into the rivalry between Junior and Kyle Busch before Junior retired.
he's the bad boy of racing.
Yeah, he's the bad boy. It used to be Tony Stewart until he ran over that 18-year-old moron on a track. One second.
I forgot about Tony Stewart until you said that. Oh boy.
Do you remember that?
I remember that Tony Stewart was a professional driver, but he made it a point to like drive on the dirt tracks and like on the fair tracks circuit.
He was a
And
professional asshole.
yeah, and whatever he was doing, he was still like muscling young kids on amateur tracks, and
Oh yeah, he was
did it to
doing
the
the
wrong one
funny.
and killed the guy.
Well, he was doing the funny car races, and if you watch the video, that was that kid. He ran out in front of his car.
Oh no, I'm not trying to give Tony Stewart. I'm not trying to put any of the blame on him. He definitely didn't de-escalate the situation.
No, but he
So-
definitely did wreck that kid first. So
Yeah, so I mean, you can't weigh someone's response based on the the cause.
yeah,
You have to start at the cause. So, again, he's a professional in a low stakes race,
hmm
and someone died. So that's always the underlying premise. So it's.
Yep.
But did he
That was-
did he get canceled after that? Like what happened?
I think he retired fully.
I mean, because other people have killed people and not gone to prison for it. So, like Caitlyn Jenner,
Yeah.
didn't they kill somebody?
Yes, she did. She definitely ran somebody over. What are you doing?
And now she's trying to run California.
It all makes sense if you think about it.
It's the Kardashian effect. That's all that I take. That's all I give it.
That was one of the funniest fucking Joe Rogan jokes of all time.
What was that?
Well, it's I butchered the bit, but it was on whatever his last Netflix special was. That's how he closed the show. It was basically on the Kardashian effect and how they ruin the men in their lives.
Oh yeah, that's on Triggered or
Yeah,
yeah, I know. Yeah, that's how he closes out the show. I remember that.
but
I'm gonna have to go through the archives and find the episode I had on my podcast where I went into depth on that, and we talked about the men who made it out of the Kardashian. Whatever. I mean, I don't know what you want to refer to it as. They all do it willingly. So they're not victims, but at the same time, it's like from the outside looking in, it looks sketchy as fuck.
well, I mean, congratulations to Kevin Love on getting in and getting out.
Wait, Kevin Love was part of that too?
Yeah, didn't he the guy that married? No, who's the guy that married like Kim Kardashian for like a day and they had the whole televised event?
That's Chris Humphries.
Chris Humphrey.
Yeah, I mean, so you've got the Kardashians and how that works, and then you have J-Lo, and she's collecting wedding rings, like, what's the bad
Thanos.
guy in Avengers? Yeah, she's the Thanos of wedding bands.
Yeah. Well, she, her and last I saw her and Ben Affleck were hooking back up. It was funny. Like the picture that the paparazzi put out was fucking hilarious. They were both out on this patio, and she was doing like morning yoga, and he was just like leaned over to the side smoking.
Yeah, it's Every time I see that now, all I think is they have projects that are coming soon, and it's all just media attention. I don't give it any weight. Like it's so silly.
They're making Geely 2 or whatever.
No, they're not.
No,
Right? Okay.
no. I was,
Yeah. No, this is the real life Julie too. I got you.
it's happening. It's happening, guys.
Did you see that movie?
No.
No,
Did you?
I never watched it.
That was before Rotten Tomatoes, but I doubt it would have done well.
Well, I bet you it's up there. Hang on.
No. We will end the show before we look up any Geely facts online. We are at 90 minutes, sir. There's no time for Geely facts on this episode.
Yeah, I was gonna say I need to
You
go to
better
bed
stop
early.
looking, sir.
'Cause-
You better stop. I see your face. You better stop looking. He is for real looking. I will mute. I will put a picture of Benifer, and I will fade to black, sir. Do not.
6% on the tomatoes.
He cannot. help
13%
himself.
audience score.
He cannot help
What a
himself.
bag of shit.
Oh boy. Anyway,
Jesus.
Well, hey, I love you guys. I missed you last week.
absolutely.
Love you
gentlemen.
guys too.
Thank you for making the time, and try and do the same time next week.
Yeah, let's try and do the same time next week. Hey, and Ryan, if the other show comes up and you need the Wednesday, just let us know, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was literally a basketball situation, and so since he's there, he had to play tonight, so there was no conflict this week. So that's why I didn't say anything.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I appreciate
we'd
that.
be supreme assholes to have you turn down an event
Yeah.
such as.
No. We can make it work, dude. There are more days in the week.
There are. Last week just definitely would not have worked.
For sure.
Anywho, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to the Sober Swole podcast. Once again, my name is Jake Howard.
My name is Paul Rowe. Thank you guys for listening.
And for Coach Ruthless in the background, she says, good night, everybody.
Bye.
Hey, it's Warhorse. Do you want your workouts to look like this? Or do you want your workouts to slay? When Warhorse picks his pre-workout, he wants it to slay. If you want second place, go with somebody else. If you want to be a champion, go with Royalty Nutrition.